Hey folks, Kilt-Man here, Kilt-Man at your services. How are you all? I hope you're doing very, very well. The festive season has begun. It definitely has begun. I know you can't see any deckies behind me, any tinsel or lights, but trust me, they are in evidence around the rest of the mansion. And you'll probably see some of that when I relocate for other videos. But anyway, for those of you waiting for the Dragon Slayer review, wait a few days longer. It's coming. It's definitely coming. The problem is, I love Dragon Slayer, but I haven't watched it for many years. So I need to watch it again. And I did kind of think, oh well, I'm gonna do this video. I'm gonna review this, but I gotta watch it. I'll watch it tonight. Well. Yeah, I never got the chance, and the chance has not transpired since. But don't worry, it's sorted. Don't worry, you're gonna get that video in the next couple of days, a few days, the weekend, maybe. No, you're gonna get it. Anyway, this video is it's meant to be a bit of a short video, but you know what I'm like. It could go on. Who knows? Who cares? Me and my daughter, the little Kilt daughter, we were watching stuff on the TV, the normal terrestrial TV, and we got kind of cheesed off with it, and we started to channel hop. And I don't know how we actually hit upon this channel, but we did, and we hit upon Forces TV. Now, Forces TV is well, as the title suggests, it's meant to be directed towards the armed forces, and obviously watching in downtime, not while you're incarceration in Al Qaeda and other terrorist organisation cells. But it's been going in various permutations throughout many years, and every Western armed forces has a variation of it. And like the UK one is, well, it's pretty piss poor, I will tell you, because we stumbled on this, and it had things like this really fucking god-awful TV show called I think it's called Get Out, but it stars a young Ray Winston and a even younger Kate Winslet, and it's a Cockney sort of, I don't know what it has. Larry Lamb's in there as well. From EastEnders and from Gavin and Stacey. Larry Lamb is in there. And it's, well, they show a bit of a preview, and oh, fuck me, you wouldn't watch it at all. Sykes is in there. Eric Sykes, yes. That's there as well. And some really bizarre sort of TV sci-fi fantasy thing called the Omega Factor. Or some of you may choose to use Omega Factor or Omega Factor, depending on how you want to pronounce these words. For me, it's Omega Factor. I don't know it. I don't know it. As a child growing up in the 70s, I saw many TV shows. Well, I saw them all. Like Wurzel Gummidge, Doctor Who, obviously Star Trek on its reruns, Lost in Space, Space 1999, The $6 Million Man, and Logan's Run, the TV show as well, which actually I quite liked. I've got it all on DVD, and yet I bought it all, many moons ago, thinking like, oh, I used to love this, mainly because I love Erin Gray from Buck Rogers. Hang on, that's Logan's Run. I've just got confused with Logan's Run and Buck Rogers, but the girl in the Logan's Run TV show is exceptionally hot, and but I don't remember it. But in the Logan's Run TV show, you've also got from The Thing. I know you gentlemen have been through a lot, but if you find the time, I'd rather not spend the rest of this winter tied to this fucking couch. Yes. Gary, the camp commander. Not camp as in, there's a thing on the loose, just the Outpost 31 commander. Well, he's in that playing an android. Anyway, that was great. I did love that show. So you had Logan's Run, you had Buck Rogers the movies and Buck Rogers the TV spin-off as well, which was awesome. I loved it. It's shit, but it was awesome at the same time. And you had this show. Now, when me and my daughter suddenly stumbled upon Forces TV, and we were like, "What the hell's this?" We did catch sort of an advert break because what you'll find on Forces TV, every advert break, every commercial break, for those of you in America, commercial break, it would just, obviously you get the ads, and then you would get the what this channel is going to have forthcoming, what they've got for this week, the next week coming, which on Forces TV does not appear to be a great deal. The Omega Factor, the thing I mentioned before, and obviously this Man from Atlantis. Oh yes. And I'm playing the soundtrack to Aquaman. Yeah, because there's a big connection there. Only that did it right. This show. Right, okay. Man from Atlantis. Patrick Duffy from Dallas. Bobby Ewing. Yeah. I like it. You already know it's that swim. The way he's doing it. And his glowing green eyes, his web fingers, web toes. Right, so what they did, we watched 1, 2, 3, or did we watch 4? There's 4. The way this started off in the 70s, 77 I think it came out, and it was like they basically made 3, maybe 4 TV movies. A TV movie back in those days would be, it should fulfill a 90-minute slot on TV, but you've got those ad breaks, those commercial breaks, those words from our sponsors. So basically you're talking like 70 minutes, if not less than that. And so there it was, and it said it was coming on, it's next. And I went to my daughter and I went, "Oh my God, Man from Atlantis. Oh, as a kid, I loved this. This was great." We watched the first movie. We watched the second movie. Because they did them back to back on this channel. This was only a couple of days ago. Did them back to back. And then the next 1 or 2 movies were on the next night. And then I think the series, the very short-lived series, went on for the next. Well, it's going on the next few nights now. As I'm talking right now, it's probably on. It's probably playing on Forces TV right now, and they are the actual episodes which they made afterwards. Because Man from Atlantis was actually quite popular when it first came out. Came out in America first, then it hit the UK, and it was kind of meant to be tying in with the whole sort of thing of comic book superheroes, and the whole belief in the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle and undersea kingdoms and the lost world of Atlantis. And of course, what was I going to say there? There was something else I was going to say there. Incredible Hulk and $6 Million Man. So a sci-fi show, but a different version. So it was kind of envisaged as Star Trek, but under the sea. Because what happens is, Patrick Duffy as the Man from Atlantis, after the big raging storm, washes up on the coast of California, but not too far from the the Sea Institute, run by Belinda Jane Montgomery, who is she could certainly run my my seagoing pipes and tubes. She could definitely oversee those, and she's lovely. She's not quite Erin Gray from Buck Rogers 21st Century, because nobody is Erin Grey apart from Erin Grey. And my God, no one can compare to her. But so she realises this guy, that the medics all rush him into hospital, and he's got his grey webbed fingers, webbed toes. What's going on inside there? There's kind of like gills inside his lungs. What is this, man? He's dying. He's dying because, he needs to be back in the sea. And they recall her from a party, a big sort of naval prestige, US Navy prestige party. They recall her, and she goes in and she's like, stethoscope and like monitors and all that kind of crap. He's got some kind of gill structure inside his lungs. Trust me on this. Let's get him out to water. So, with a handful of people, as in maybe 2 people. This is a big top secret organisation, and 2 people drag him out to the sea. And they bathe him in the Californian waters. And of course, his eyes open, glowing green, and his hand clasps hers, and a bond is made. And they bring forth the man from Atlantis. And we know he's the man from Atlantis because he's got amnesia. He's got no idea where he came from. He's got no idea who he is and what he's meant to be. They christen him Mark Harris. Fanboys out there will tell me where that name came from. I've got no fucking idea. But Mark Harris, I don't know. And they go on one of these little sort of antiquated computer systems, which seems like in The Thing. Blair's computer in The Thing seems to know exactly how long it will take to infect everybody else in the world. But they go on this and they go, who do you reckon he is? Last surviving citizen of Atlantis. How the fuck did it leap to that conjecture? How did it come up with that? What was the criteria that went into that computer that come up with that as a solution? Last surviving citizen of Atlantis. Okay, we're going with it. The show's called Man from Atlantis, so we already knew that. So we were ahead of you guys. So he's meant to be comatose, not comatose, but he's silent, and he's a stranger in a strange world. A fish out of water. Had to use it. And so they then realise that look, the submarine's going missing, and this guy who's got super fishy skills, he can compete with dolphins at high speed. He can leap out of the water and catch the fish in the Sea Whale Park, and then he'll feed it to the dolphin. And he can hold his breath underwater for a hell of a long time, obviously. And his eyes, those green eyes, they're built to like see from deep depths and all that. But obviously in the sunlight, topside world, it's a bit it's a bit uncomfortable. So they give him shades. And for most of the first episode, he can't speak, and then he suddenly says, "No, I can hear you. I can speak." And wow, that's great. Who are you? I know nothing. I only know what I see and what I am. I'll come on to this dialogue and his character in a bit more. But in this first episode, this first feature-length movie, they realise these submarines are going missing. So they take him out there with some deep sea divers and to go and find out. They go to the place of the last submarine going missing. By the way, folks, The Spy Who Loved Me, Stromberg, Ian Fleming's original story, and of course, the 1970s Roger Moore 007 outing, which I did a massive couple of videos on. Go check them out. Has the same idea. Stromberg wants to build a world underneath the sea, get the best of humanity, and because he can't stand the way that humanity's gone topside, wars, genocide, and environmental pollution. Can't stand it. Well, you've got the big villain of this piece, this movie, then another couple of movies, and throughout the series which ensued. And he's played by Victor Bueno, or Bueno, or Bono, however you want to pronounce it. Now, he is a rotund Shakespearean thespian, a closeted gay man during the 70s, in fact during his entire acting career. Very erudite, he's very, I want to keep saying rotund because he always used the fact that he was a big guy, a fat guy. He's never going to go to fisticuffs, but he's the criminal mastermind behind many schemes. He was in Batman, the Adam West Batman. He was King Tut. Yes, you know, and most of you know who I'm talking about here. He appeared in many TV shows as well, in many stage productions, and he's a great actor as well. And as a kid, I said to my daughter, so like, there's a big bad guy in this. He's played by a guy called Victor Bueno, and he terrified me when I was a kid. But when he come on screen, she just looked at me and she was like, "That fat dude scared you?" And I went, "Well, he did." And I've struggled to work out why he frightened me. Although having seen now a couple of these movies and looked at his character a little bit, I can kind of see why he did scare me. He plays, I think his name's Schubert. Is it Dr. Schubert? Professor Schubert or Schumann? And he's a Stromberg James Bond style character who does not believe in humanity anymore, topside, on the land. He wants to make a world under the oceans, and he's made steps towards it, which is why he's been kidnapping. Again, it's pure James Bond, a master villain. He's recruiting all these scientists on board these submarines and ships and whatever, and he's hijacking them, and he's got a vast underground base, underwater base I should say, and he's got this fantastic submarine which he uses to come obviously transport all his prisoners back to his base, and he puts these little sort of bracelets on them which render them totally susceptible to his commands. So go work on this, go and destroy that, and whatever. And his master plan in the first movie is that, look, I now know where all the nuclear submarines are around the world. I can reprogram them to fire their missiles and strike all their targets and destroy the world above, and we can create our new world down below. That's his dream plan. But of course, we've got man from Atlantis. He hasn't got a fucking clue what the hell he's doing. Doesn't know anybody. He's had a couple of breakouts from the American base. The American base. Oh my God, this oceanographic, the seagoing investigative base is a beachfront colonial house. You fucking kidding me? No bunker. Although there is laboratories sort of somewhere in there. It's bollocks. And what's her name again? Belinda J. Montgomery, and I forgot who she plays now. Oh God. And she's fit, she's lovely. She's the woman interest in it, and she loves this guy from the sea. She saved him, and there's a bond between them. Although it's never really doesn't really go anywhere. Is it love? Is it whatever? She clearly loves him, and he feels an attachment to it because she saved his life. Anyway, so he will follow this big badass fat bastard's submarine, the Cetacean as it's called. He follows that into this underwater base, and he finds all these other scientists, and he saves the day. Clearly he saves the fucking day, but with no violence. This is another thing about this Man from Atlantis. There's no violence in it. There might be a bit of rough stuff, fisticuff sort of thing, but there's no weapons, there's no knives, there's no shooting. none of that takes place at all. It's very, very kid friendly, and yet the ideas might be kind of more involving and more sort of cerebral. Well, I say that the writing derails any kind of like intelligence with the plotting. It just goes completely to rat shit. But he saves the day. He manages to save all the scientists. And he destroys the base. And Doctor, what's his name? I've got a real bad feeling that I've said his name wrong. Schubert. His name is Schubert. Sorry, I've got a few little notes here. Schubert, Victor Bueno, and Victor Bueno loves the. Hang on, you're a man who can ignore my thought control with my bracelets. You've got web fingers and you've got web toes. You've got these green eyes. You're a fish man, aren't you? Yes, I need you. The powers that you've got are going to aid me in my campaign to relocate my chosen humanity beneath the waves. But of course, this ain't going to work. So, they become, completely diopposed enemies. And anyway, but in this first TV movie, Atlantis destroys the base and saves everybody in the cetacean submarine and takes them to safety. Job done. And then at the end of the first movie, he's like, well, because you've not worked out who he is. This is the thing, folks. He's called Man from Atlantis because that fucking computer says, like, last citizen of Atlantis. How they work it out? Who the fuck knows? And he's got amnesia. How convenient. He's got amnesia. He doesn't know where he's from. He doesn't know who he is. So they christen him Mark Harris and all that. But when he goes to this deep diving vessel to go and find these missing submarines, and some of the crew make jokes, well, hey, because they know he's this incredible diver. They don't know he's like some kind of underwater denizen. They haven't sussed that out. But they're kind of like, maybe it was sea monsters, from the Mariana Trench. And he goes, well, and this is a stupid fucking moment. He goes like, well, but there are no sea monsters in the Mariana Trench. And they go, how do you know that? Because I've been there. Are you razzing me, mate? Razzing? This is the 70s. Are you razzing me? He's just said he's been in the Mariana Trench. He remembers there's no sea monsters down there. Why does he remember where he's fucking from then? Oh, I'm from this city. I'm from this underworld, fucking whatever. I'm from Atlantis. Why can he not remember? And you'll never find that out throughout the entire, 4 TV movies, and then the ensuing axed, I think 11 episodes, or was it 13 episodes? It got axed after the first season. After doing the sort of the feature-length versions, then it went, because it was popular. The show was popular, and as a rival for the $6 Million Man, it did garner quite some response. So they thought, well, hang on, we can make this instead of like every month or so with one of these movies. Let's make it every week and do like a 45-minute TV show. Yeah, so we'll do that. So they did, and but it was shit. Well, I'm saying it's shit. I've only watched the first few movies, and and they're shit. They are unbelievably shit. And yet, sort of addictive at the same time. I think me and my daughter, and I know after doing this, we're going to go start watching the TV show as well, of Forces TV, because we're just taking the piss out of it. But is that taking the piss in a bad way or in a good way? I said to her, I remember this show. And that Schubert, what's his name? Fucking Schubert? Yeah, Schubert. He terrified me. Why did he terrify me? He's got he's sort of baldy. Victor Bueno, you know him, he's now sadly dead. Jowly, but he had a big beard on him and he had sort of curly grey hair. And for some reason, my hair's not doing freakish things. Oh, look at that, there's other bits gone astray. Oh, fuck it, whatever. And I thought, why did he frighten me? But the more I've watched of it and seen him, there is a very definitely hugely creepy thing about his eyes. His sort of, and it is Shakespearean, it's very sort of sorceress, sorcerish, like Prospero sort of thing. The jowls, the ruddy cheeks, and he's got blue eyes, and the gleam in those blue eyes is mischievous, not quite demonic, not so much evil, but it's, well, I don't want to say this, but I'm going to. It's almost paedophile. He has this sort of glowering sort of look of menace and mischief and just fiddly bits. And you can't trust him. So as a kid, I found him terrifying. Now that's a waggling my finger right in your fucking face, and I do apologise for that, because I hate people doing that. When people talk to you, they go like, and I said this to him, and I did that, and I do that. You just want to fucking bite that finger off, don't you? Or just snap it off, don't you? It's just me. But he has got that horrible look, and yet I do like him as an actor. I think he's great, and he does personify this bizarre undersea denizen who, in the later series, he will be a recurring villain. Although he does, if I remember rightly, he doesn't last the full series, because I think you guys who are maybe fans, because I know fans of this will exist out there, and good luck to you. No. Well, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he did 4 or 5 episodes out of the TV show which followed these TV movies, and he said, like, well, okay, look, you know, he said, look, if I'm going to be this villain, if I'm going to be a recurring villain, you know, I've got to have something to do. I can't be the villain of the week every time. You're going to have to bring somebody else in, because otherwise it's just, I'm this, you know, this criminal mastermind who fails. He wins for like, what, 2/3 of the TV show, and then suddenly Man from Atlantis thwarts his plans again. Oh, I would have got away with it if it wasn't for that pesky Gill-Man. Oh, dear. But what they did in the end, they kind of screwed it up. Instead of spacing out his episodes, I think they crammed them into the first few episodes of the one season this lasted for. And so the rest of the episodes were kind of like, well, there was no major bad guy. Instead of bringing him back, you know, sporadically throughout that season, they ruined all the, like, oh no, it's Schubert again. What's he up to now? But he's a Lex Luthor. He's an undersea Lex Luthor. He's a wannabe Stromberg. And, you know, all his plans get thwarted, obviously, by the Man from Atlantis. Now, Patrick Duffy. Okay. Oh, just found something to drink. That's tea. That's tea. Servants in this mansion, they ain't what they used to be, that's for certain. Fucking tea. And it's cold as well. Patrick Duffy, he had to do a couple of auditions for this, if I recall correctly, and he was a great swimmer. He'd been trained to swim, and he knew how to hold his breath, and of course the big selling point of this show was the underwater footage, and and the way that he swam, which was like, I mean, you guys know this. If I stand up and try and do this, I should lie on the table now and try and do it. His arms are tucked down there, and there's a little speck of something. Anyway, and he would just do this. So his arms and legs, he would undulate like that. Now, the point of that was, they said, like, well, fish have backbones which go all the way down to the fin. So that's why they can do all this kind of stuff. Or depending on what kind of fish they are, like that. But a human being with, you know, 2 legs, well, your backbone stops, you know, round about there, the top of your arse crack. So, it doesn't really work, does it? You know, unless you're a merman or mermaid, you know, and we all have our preferences, don't we? You know, in which case that would work with the arms tucked back, that would work. But regardless of the science behind this bullshit, fucking hell, he could do it. My God, he could do it. And okay, they speed up some shots which look fucking ridiculous. When he's competing with, in the first TV movie, when he's competing with the dolphin, when they're doing tests on him, oh my God, and they speed it up and he's racing with the dolphin. But they've sped up the dolphin as well. It just looks dizzy and shite. But when you see him, and obviously when you were a kid, these were the scenes you wanted to see. If you were a kid in the 70s and this was your TV show, you know, the fantasy and the sci-fi elements, he's swimming. And we'd be in the playgrounds going, did you see him? Oh, yeah, he's doing all this. And we'd all be like gyrating, like sort of like fucking acid dropout freaks, having, you know, massive, you know, fits. But it looks ridiculous. But he's doing it for real. And he learns how to hold his breath and to speak underwater. So what he would do, he'd hyperventilate and hold his breath. Because this takes some do. This is actually Special Forces training. SBS, SAS, SEALs do all this kind of stuff. You know, and like holding your breath and filling your lungs to a capacity of water so the bubbles will come out as well. You know, and he was doing that underwater in tanks and that, like, with these glowing green fucking contact lenses in. And obviously he would recite lines underwater. So 2 or 3 lines. Obviously it's dubbed over, you know, because it's going to go like, it's not like fucking Boris Johnson, you know. British people, lockdown again. Omicron B, the new COVID variant, it's an anagram of no crimbo. And it is. The new COVID variant, Omicron B, is an anagram of no crimbo. For those of you who are not round here, crimbo means Christmas. So in this country, who knows, we could be losing another Christmas. It's like a piss take in it, you know. Anyway, I digress. But he could do all that. So that's how he got the part in the end. And so he struts around in his little yellow fucking, you know, his shorts, his trunks. And he can't survive outside of water for more than, what is it? Is it 15 hours? Actually, no, there's probably a time there. But I'm sure they forget about that as the show progresses. Because in another TV movie, another one of the first TV movies, the space spores come back attached to a NASA capsule and then go and possess various people because they're trying to learn about people. And they possess Mark Harris, man from Atlantis, but you see in Californian restaurants and casinos, people acting super strange because these spores, which are a bit like the things you see in From Beyond, the film From Beyond, you know, only in a certain light can you see these things floating around. You turn the lights off and put like a strobe light on, and you see them all flicking around. And he's got to work out, like, are these guys, are they actually bad or what? Like, and there's meant to be this touching moment at the end because what he does, they manage to seal them up in like a space capsule, and that's a space capsule, and rocket them out into space, get shut of these because they're causing madness and mayhem, you know, in California, the land of madness and mayhem. And as they're all watching on these monitors, they hear this laughter, because you can hear these things as well, you know, and they hear this laughter, and Belinda, why do I keep forgetting her name? Belinda J. Montgomery, as you know, this oceanographic sort of super scientist. She's like, but Mark, they're laughing. Why are they laughing? Are they mocking us? And he just goes like, in a very poignant moment, supposed to be. He just goes like, well, they're laughing because they're happy. They're happy because they're going back to a place they love. They're going home. And he sort of looks off like that. Because we still don't know where he's from. And he never fucking finds out. He doesn't find out. We don't find out. And yet he knows all the bits. Oh look, there's certain dyes we can use to find these creatures in various episodes and bullshit like. But I know where to find them. In, you know, and it'll go off. All that fucking undulating shite. And he'll go and find little crabs and, you know, mollusks. And he'll get out some of this shit out of that and bring it back to this little beach house, which is the Oceanographic Laboratory for Naval Science, or whatever that's called, like top secret. Canal. And they'll do all experiments down there, you know, on the porch, on the veranda, barbecue, cooking just over there. Beach babes wandering past. And but he knows where to get stuff, but he can't remember where he's from. Does not the title of the fucking show give it away? Man from Atlantis. Even that shitty computer fucking told you where you were from. But the dialogue and the writing, despite the great concept, and it's not a bad concept, it's not a bad concept. A guy from the oceans comes up and playing Aquaman. It is like a TV version of like what, you know, Marvel, no, it's DC, isn't it? What DC were doing with Aquaman. You know, that was, hang on, maybe you can work with this. I've got no evidence for this. I don't know if that's what they thought at all. But the parallels are definitely there. A man from the sea, a forgotten past, a legacy, a heritage. It's all there. But Aquaman did it far better, obviously. This just didn't know where it was going. It did not know. After the movies, and they destroyed Victor Bueno's undersea base, they nicked his submarine, the Cetacean, and then the show, the TV show, became like just them, and episodic, you know, adventures, meeting aliens and weird people, and I don't know, fucking all sorts of. Well, I don't know because I've forgotten and I haven't watched the rest of the series. I might do. In fact, it's going to be on in about an hour's time, so me and my daughter will probably sit and watch it and then go, pile of shite that is. But at least they'll be like condensed down to like a sort of 45-minute, or given the ad breaks, an hour or so. Because the TV movies don't half seem to stretch on with the commercial, you know, interludes, which you don't really want. But so they take the submarine, but the base that he destroyed in the very first TV movie, they use that as their base. They go back to that and use it as a base. He fucking destroyed it. How'd that happen? But Schubert, Victor Bueno, will appear again and again. Now, Belinda Montgomery, the super sexy oh god, I have such trouble with that word. Oceanographic super scientist. She hated it. Now, I could be wrong here. I don't know the full backstory here. I've only seen little snippets of what may have transpired. She couldn't stand the show. The writing was god awful, and she fucking despised doing it. So she actually broke contract to get out of it. So in the final couple of episodes, I do believe she's gone, and there's no sort of like, you know, they don't talk. Oh, she's been one of the second lead throughout the entire movies and then the TV series. Where's she gone? Don't mention her at all. But they bring another girl in, and all of a sudden Mark Harris, Patrick Duffy, man from Atlantis, webbed bits and bobs, suddenly has a clear sort of affection for it. A romance begins, but then the show got axed. Now, that's the weird thing. Clearly, throughout what I've seen so far, very, very clearly, Belinda Montgomery, her character has the hots for Mark Harris, and he does respect her, and he's got feelings for her. She saved his life, not once but several times. In fact, in one of those TV movies, when he's possessed by his alien spores, he fucking drives a naval. He breaks out of the oceanographic beach house, and all these high tech security guards just go and fall over and go and point. Whereas Belinda Montgomery and one of the first few episodes, he's the mainstay. He's the third party, the third lead name down, who works with him. I don't know what his fucking name is. They drive after him. They get pulled up by the cops. Chips, California Highway Patrol. No. But he gets away, and they say, we've got to catch him. He's a member of a top secret, organisation. He's a part of an experiment. We've got to get him. And he's running to the fucking desert. Now, this is a guy that can't breathe out of water for like 15 hours or so, and he's gone in the fucking desert. And they manage to track him down in the desert. They go miles after him. They find bits of clothing. Do you think it could be his? Do you know? It could be. There's footprints over there. Let's go that way. It's fucking stupid. And he keeps falling down sand dunes, and he collapses in the end. And they find him. And then she runs back to the cop cars and manages to get, I don't know where you do cop cars in California carry huge water canisters. She's got a couple of them, and she runs back. The fucking what's the cop doing? I'll call for a helicopter. Yeah, we've got a helicopter down here. And she runs back over the fucking desert dunes, and then she can see him, and she falls down the dune and opens up all the canisters, so that all the water goes everywhere. This is about a 15-minute sequence in this movie. Finally, they sponge him down with wet sand, make a mud pack to try and cool him down, and a police helicopter arrives and they pick him up. They say, where are we taking him to? What hospital are we taking him to? Just the nearest water. So where did he go? Yeah. There's a Beverly Hills fucking party going on. They're all hey, all 70s people, big hair and pubes coming out, all their fucking, their bathing swimsuits and all that, and they just kick him out of the police whirly bear into the fucking pool, and everyone's going, oh, wow. They all leap out the water, and they all stood there going, oh, and she jumps in and she drags him around the water and brings him back, and underwater his eyes open green and his hand comes up again. He's been saved again by air, and helicopter's fucking gone, and she brings him out the water, and you hear some dickhead on the side going that was a police helicopter. Really? It dropped him and fucked off minutes ago, and that was a police helicopter. What about the sexy bird in your pool with this weird guy with webbed fingers and webbed toes? It's shite, folks. It's fucking shite. And yet, I can't wait to watch another episode. Doesn't make no sense, does it? Nostalgia works a bundle. They wrote several books, several novelizations of the TV movies, and Marvel did an offshoot, a comic book offshoot. I know because I had it, and I as a kid, I remember being a fan of this, and yet watching it now, I cannot understand why I was a fan of it. I loved Zorro on Saturday mornings, black and white Zorro with Guy Marshall from Lost in Space. Is it Guy Marshall? Whatever his name is. I loved, the Flashing Blade. I loved Doctor Who, the Tomorrow People. I loved all these vintage stuff. But when I watch them now, I can still see why I like them. Looking at this, I am struggling to find out why I found any sense of worth, excitement, value, entertainment out of it. But I'm saying that, and I'm also like, when I watch it again, because I'm taking the piss out of it. So maybe it was a very forward-thinking show. Look, we're making this, and it can't compete with all the big leagues. It's crap. We know it's crap. The dialogue's crap. Patrick Duffy, apart from the swimming, is fucking crap. It's not his fault. The dialogue they give him, it makes no sense. He's the fish out of water. For example, Mark, you know, these alien spores, what are they doing? I don't know what they're doing. But they're in you, aren't they? I don't know. Well, why are you doing what you're doing? Because I'm supposed to. What do you mean? Are they telling you to do these things? No. Well, why are you doing these things then? I know that they want me to do these things. What? Fuck off. Just fuck off. And the whole bloody show, dialogue-wise with him, is chewed up by these huge chapters of complete bullshit dialogue, of nothing, asking him questions, and he comes up with the most obtuse, ridiculous, diverting bollocks, and it's just like, will you just fucking say something that makes any sense? And stop that fucking glowing green eye shite. And why is it your fingers aren't webbed in many other shots? When you're pushing security guards over and you're making a run for it, and they're just normal hands, and then when you want to see them, this big fake hand comes up with all these big... I don't know. So, books came out, and I do believe that in the last few years, Patrick Duffy actually wrote a novelisation, a new novel in the series, because there's been a few books based on this. Novelisations of the episodes and TV movies. He wrote one in about, it's only recent, 2016, something like that. And this story, I believe, told the backstory of Mark Harris, the man from Atlantis, and it gave his real name, and he was an Atlantean and all that, and it told you the whole backstory. It was just him, Patrick Duffy, revisiting a character which he was born to play, because you know his unique abilities underwater. There aren't many actors that could have done what he did there. Now it would all be CG, and it wouldn't. They would morph underwater. To do that swim, their legs would just gel together and become like a big fin. Because the way it works at the moment, it's just a human who's doing this ridiculous thing. And he did say that it hurts. No, it doesn't hurt to do it. But when you come out of the water, oh shit, you're tired. Now you imagine doing that. Your pelvis. I mean, some of us have spent a long time with some good pelvic action. Anyway, this is again Aquaman, but I'm gonna stop before I divulge too many, watery details. So, Man from Atlantis. There's fans of it out there. Some of you guys are. You are. I know you are. Yes, and I can see your gills bristling. The things I've said about it. But watching it now, it's unmistakably a pile of shit. And yet, it's bizarrely enjoyable. What more can you say? What more could you ask for from the 70s stuff? Buck Rogers, Logan's Run, $6 Million Man, Bionic Woman. You've got all that. They're all shit in certain elements. But Man from Atlantis really is scraping the bottom of that seafaring barrel. Folks, I have been and always shall be Kilt-Man. Please do try your utmost to keep it kilted and keep it Celtic. And, you know, if you think I'm taking the piss, it's done out of love, really. It is. I've enjoyed watching it, and I'm going to watch it again. So, go figure. Folks, take it easy. I'm going to see you all. Namaste. Very soon. So please, be happy. The undersea cetacean. Bloop, bloop, bloop. But I don't know where I'm from. I have memories, but they mean nothing to me.